All right, so for today, we're gonna have as a guest speaker, Greta Blackburn. So after years of success in the entertainment industry, Greta shifted her focus and began to build her health and fitness credentials by becoming the founding editor of Mrs. Fitness magazine in 1993 and the founder of Fit Camps, the world's first fitness boot camps in 1994. She is also co-author of the first layman's book on telomere biology, The Immortality Edge, and she has become known as the telomere diva in the world of biotech and longevity. Woo! Very excited to hear from Greta today. But also, well, first I want to say hi to everyone online. Hello, everyone. Hi. Thank you, Imbal. Hi, Bernie and Deb. Hello. So also I want to remind you that for the ageless education sessions, the presentations are recorded. So you don't need to take pictures or record anything. They're gonna be accessible in our website. And questions will be taken in person and from online after the presentation. Thank you, and please give our warmest welcome to Greta Blackburn.
Thank you, thank you. And hopefully, if you knew what, guys, by the way, high tech here, if you knew what it took to get me here on screen, thank you, Mariana. I literally have a beamer implanted in my butt. I have a brass knob on the back of my head as an antenna. I have earbuds here so that I'm coming to you with very high technology going on here. Another note is, while I wish that I were there, but we're going to make this work virtually. But I have been watching the room as you're loading in, so I feel that I'm there with you. I know that Sarah took her sexiest bed sheets and made a little top and wrapped it around her shoulders. I love it. And I know, and there's someone there that's got their little, they have a little Barbie hat and a Barbie top, and I watched, yes, there you are. Hi, I love that, the Barbie bow. And Ileana's took magic marker and painted it all up and down her legs and her backside to get the proper fit. So I feel like I'm in the room. I see you guys. I love you. I'm happy to be here. So yeah, thank you, Sarah. And by the way, if you guys have been watching Sarah's Instagram and Reels, she's doing some wild stuff on the balls. She's swinging from the chandelier. It's crazy. I love your Reels, Sarah. Very cool. So I feel like I see you guys, some of you every day because of social media. I see you at the events, and now I'm seeing you here. So a disclaimer, what I'm going to be sharing with you today, these are my opinions. These are my observations from having been in this world of anti-aging and health and longevity for so long. So as I run through just an overview, this is a 30,000-foot view of the world of biohacking. So let's get into it. As few as maybe 5 years ago, if I had asked someone from the general public what a biohacker is, they might have guessed, is that someone who lies on their resume? And if I'd said, did you take your spermidine today? They might have gotten right up in my face and hissed, that's none of your damn business, sister. So I think it's safe to say, though, that a good number of you are familiar with the term. And in this group, we pretty much all not only talk the biohacker talk, but we walk the perky biohacker walk. Yeah, everyone here wants to live to a ripe, old, rip-roaring, randy age. In fact, I'm betting that if I sent a spy into any of your homes while you're busy here, they would find a ton of vitamins, gadgets, mats, widgets, and whatnots prominently displayed in medicine cabinets and on countertops. Am I right? So, and keep in mind, I'm not saying that vitamins, gadgets, mats, widgets, and whatnots like they're bad things. On the contrary, look at you all. You're spicy, you're sassy, you're supple, you're stretched out like Sarah, and you're smart as whips. But let's face it, while the vast majority of people today are spending their Saturdays slacking around the house, sucking on jumbo Slurpees, you're here soaking up some science and that good People Unlimited super sauce, spirit of immortality. Yeah. So we know who you are and who you're not. And for me, well, you see me cavorting around Radfest, mixing it up, or on reruns of my movies and TV shows. Pretty much all that I do can be summed up under the label supernode. I connect dots. I make things happen that otherwise might not, but they're good things that need to happen. Case in point, and watch my wording here. I'm about 50% responsible for helping to bring telomerase activation technology off of a back shelf at Geron Corporation some 20 years ago and bring it into a pill and onto shelves to what we now know as TA65. History has shown that I have kind of a keen Zeitgeistian nose for what will be the next big thing, from inventing fitness boot camps back in, it was 1990, guys, I think he said 94, to knowing that Johnny G had a terrific workout idea when he got on a stationary bike at the Matrix Gym back in West LA in the 80s and created what would later be called spinning, to intuiting early on, and this is the key part and material to why we're here and what we're doing. I knew at that time that in my early fitness and fitness magazine editing career that it really doesn't matter how many leg lifts you can do if you're dead. So following that nose for that subtle little nuance, I transitioned into anti-aging, which began by walking the show floor at A4M meetings in Las Vegas before they were even on the Strip. They were at some ratty little hotel out on the fringe, and it was like the Dirk Pearson, Sandy Shaw era. And frankly, a lot of the people walking that show at that time were, they were a little strange looking. But now we have biohacking, and yep, but being a biohacker is a thing. Keep in mind that pioneers like Bob Goldman and Ron Klatz at A4M and Bill Falloon at Life Extension, heck, even super fit gym rat Jack LaLanne, whose New York gym, by the way, is where I made money to pay for my acting school back then, were deep into all of this when many people thought it was a freaky fringe for spooky kooks only. Those of you who remember the early days of anti-aging and longevity, it was kind of weird. People thought we were weird. They thought we were ghouls who needed to be kicked into the grave and told to go home. I had a call from a friend just yesterday asking me to put him in touch with Alcor. And now 15 years ago, he cringed at the mention of being cryopreserved. And now as he gets close to 80, it's seeming like a better post-mortem bet than the alternatives. The times they're not a-changing. They done dang changed. So put that in your longevity escape velocity pipe and smoke it, guys. And I come to you with some cautionary advice from someone who's been around this rodeo for a while. I've been bucked off a few ponies. I roped into some dubious offers, and I've lived to talk about it. And my message today is that biohacking is here, and it's here to stay, and we love it, and we embrace it. But there are risks, as with anything. So I'm going to give you just a couple of the generic sort of global categories, and I'll dig in a little deeper with you on some specifics. There's some stuff you may want to take a deeper dive into on your own, and after the fact, Jim and Joe, we can create a little cheat sheet, who to point them to get more specifics on stuff. But here's the problem. Here's one of the overarching buckets that we have to deal with biohacking, and that's confusion. Okay, so there's a wealth of information out there. You know, the accessibility of ChatGPT, the proliferation of social media accounts and platforms. It means that theories are pretty much like the aperture at the far end of your perineum. Everyone has one. And even what was formerly presumed to be hard science has pretty much gone as flaccid as the nether parts of those who eschew hormone replacement therapy. So example, do you remember when fat was the root of all food evil? We all remember that. It was all about fat. But if we talk to our esteemed RadFest presenter and world-renowned expert and public author, Dr. Robert Lufkin, ask him what he thinks of that old wives' tale. He's now pointing his highly educated and informed fingers at the real culprit, azúcar, mi amigos. That's sugar, for those of you who haven't gotten into your Spanish speaking prolifically. But all that aside, let's put this in practical perspective. So if you're feeling terrific on your current regimen, and I'm guessing most of you are, you know, good on you. More importantly, if your labs are coming up roses, stay the course. You're doing it right. But if you're waking up tired after a good night's sleep, if you're having issues staying focused during the day, or worse yet, your latest labs are showing results worse than those taken from a piece of roadkill swept off a busy superhighway, yet you're doing all the right things and taking all, thank you. Some of you, and by the way, I meant to preface all of this because I'm going to throw a little bit of my signature snark your humor in. I really wanted to dedicate anything I say today that's funny is dedicated to the memory of my very good pal, Dabney Coleman, who left us on Thursday. So Dabney, I love you. And there's never be anybody as funny as that man. And why we're all here is to keep people like that, the legacy, the talent, the wit alive. We need that. We need these people around for longer than 92 years. But anyway, if you're doing all the right, yeah, thank you. If you're doing all the right things and taking all the recommended stuff, then, and still the labs, not that good, your energy, not that good, then I'm here to tell you something's rotten in Denmark and it ain't the vegan Havarti cheese in your fridge. So let me give you one solid example of confusion. And I think you guys, I'm going to guess that most of you will know what I'm talking about. The whole metformin versus berberine question. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. You know, and the question is, do you take a prescription medicine that has pretty good science behind it, but it's controversial on a few points? Or you take a holistic alternative that might not actually cut the mustard as well, but what do you do? Who do you trust to inform you on the right path for you? So this is where being a biohacker is confusing. Metformin, berberine, metformin, berberine. There are many examples like that. Oh, by the way, I'm field testing. This is a little behind the scenes. I get the scoop on stuff early, so I'm going to fill you guys in a little bit. I'm field testing a newly launched supplement that offers a cool combo of spermidine for the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory benefits, as well as pro-autophagy. It has berberine to support how the body uses blood sugar through AMP-activated kinase. And it has an ingredient that may lower sugar cravings. Sign me up for that. And that's not all. It also has chromium chelate that may help the body turn fat to fuel. So we'll see. Stand by. I'm about to try it. I'll keep you posted. Reach out to me if you want to know. I'm going to give it a month, and then I'll report in from the field. But the solution to confusion. So I've discussed the bucket, the problem, confusion. So the solution is available, but you can lead a horse to water you can't make him drink. You can tell the biohacker what he needs to do, he or she needs to do, but they need to do it. So regular labs, blood work. We all are familiar with Quest, LabCorp, Life Extension. I'll tell you in a minute how to go right to Life Extension and get this done cheap and easily. How many of you have had labs done in the last month? Okay, yeah. Well, and if I go to 6 months, probably every hand will be raised. So you guys know this, but it's important to stay on top of that. Also, biomarker tests to help locate and assess the locale of concern. Getting to ground zero of a problem is testing, not guessing. Our buddy Bill Falloon's Life Extension offers the most reasonable medical panel prices and convenience you can find. If you go to lef.org, toggle down under lab testing, that's at the top of the page, and then you can get cracking to go from there and to go from confused to informed. It's as simple as letting your fingers do it, the walking on the web. lef.org, go to lab testing, toggle down, pick what you want to test, and get it done. My associate and good friend, Dr. Jinshang Shi, created a company called Ginfinity Precision Medicine to bring actionable info to those serious about their health span via biomarker tests. So if you want to get biomarkers tested, you go to ginfinity.com, and there's a test there, for example, called the Aging SOS test. It's a complete panel of age-related biomarkers, clotho, senescent zombie cells, intracellular NAD, inflammation load, and more. So again, I'm going to say test, don't guess. If you go to Ginfinity, if you use the code Greta with a capital G15, you get 15% off everything there. Okay, so Life Extension is a great asset. It's all already reasonably priced. Greta 15 at Ginfinity. Get your biomarkers done. I can tell you the names of the top experts in the field of anti-aging who use the Ginfinity test, but you think I'm a name dropper, so I won't. But it's pretty much all the names that you know and love. Now, another risk for biomarkers can be summed up in that popular phrase used today to describe dysfunctional, unsatisfying relationships. It's complicated. You know, when your friend is in a crappy relationship and everyone around him knows it's crap, they know it's crap, the world knows it's crap, the relatives know it's crap, but they just can't leave. The truth is that all the things that many people put in, on, around, and through their bodies, not you guys, of course, to extend their health span may very well be shortening it. Hence, it's complicated. They're loath to leave their relationship with their current regimen because it's all backed by science. It's cutting edge. So-and-so promotes it. Being a biohacker is a thing. You know, we're all operating at a dead run. Time is precious, and it's complicated to dig in deeper, but you need to. So you can't just toss down a handful of pills a couple times a day and call it good. Product X may be terrific for you, but when it's combined with other products, it may not be. And you can't assume that just loading yourself up with really good, very quality, very proven products developed under rigid scientific guidance is always a good thing. I'm in the trenches here with these age management practices, with these doctors, with these experts, and they are seeing kidney and liver and other issues in patients who formerly had none and who are not at risk for those issues. So when is the last time you had your kidney and your liver markers checked? The numbers don't lie and you need to know them. So test, don't guess, and check, don't expect. I mean, we all know Brian Johnson, and some of you may be sitting here thinking, but wait, Brian takes a bucket full of supplements all the time. He's the ultimate biohacker. He's reverses biological age 8D. Shut up, Greta. Well, keep in mind, Brian monitors everything from his ejection fractions to his erections 24/7 under the guidance of a team of more than 30 doctors and consultants. And I'm not telling tales out of school. He's online in videos. He talks about it. So going forensic to discover what worked and what didn't, what product to attribute the good news to or what to discard as cause for the bad news becomes complicated with indiscriminate use of just a ton of good stuff. So when someone figures out how to test the blood to filter out what worked and what didn't, they're going to win a Nobel Prize. And I want to be in on some royalties when a big pharma aggregate buys them up. It's really hit and miss at this point, guys. So lab work numbers, biomarker tests, mega millionaire lifestyles aside, most of us have a pretty simple goal: to extend our health span as far as we can and to enjoy vitality all the way. So check this out. What is the number one reason people get checked into assisted living homes? Does anybody know? So the number one reason is because they can't get off the toilet by themselves. That's the number one reason. They need help. So they've lost lower body strength. They've lost mobility. They're not working out with Ileana. They're not with the People Unlimited. They're not doing what Sarah's doing. They've lost the mobility and ability to do one basic move, a half rep of a body weight squat. Hence, checking into assisted living. Now, no one wants to go to be 80 living in assisted living for their final 10 or more years. We want to be out exploring, attending conferences like this, using the body to get around the world, signing up for that surf trip to Bali or that tantric sex retreat in Tahiti. Who's up for Zumba with the zebras on a safari? I'm going to start a tour group for older people who are foxy and fit. The good news is, in a recent Wall Street Journal headline, here it is: old leaders run the world and they're not going anywhere. A decade ago, just one of the world's 10 most populous countries had a leader of 70 or older. Today, 8 do. Being old is now cool if you're fit, if you're vital, if you're independent. So it's all about keeping your wits about you and being mobile and active as the numbers go up. But here's what most people, other people do. They buy quick fix gadgets and products and hope they work. If a commercial says that albino goat butt hair in a capsule will make your sex drive thrive, hey, send it to me. When a celebrity tells them that that full head of Fisher-Price hair they now sport is because of a special electrified, wide-toothed, coconut oil-coated comb, slap those credit cards, but do not snatch that wig. If that stuff all worked, it would be great. UVC would be our primary care source. Occasionally it does, but for the most part, the promises are not measurable. There's no real baseline and no real endpoint, just lots of fun, memorable marketing slogans. So we know the bad news, but what's the good news? Make it measurable, make it actionable. You can't fix what you can't measure. So companies to look out for are those with science, data, measurability, and actionable. And there are people, places, and things to support this. CGMs are a hot new trend. CNS vital signs online, check your brains, check your noggin, Amen Clinic, brain scan. Tip number 2, become friends with your depressing biomarkers. They always go down or up, never, usually not in a good direction. Your blood pressure, your kidney numbers, your naive T cells, they need to be below 20. CD4, CD8s need to be below 1. HRV needs to be below 10. Reaction time above 500. REM sleep needs to be at a certain number. And EGFR, become familiar with EGFR, a kidney. I've been talking about these guys in these clinics seeing kidney and liver problems. Get your EGFR tested. It needs to be below 45. If it's not, you're doing stuff that's not working. It's doing harm. Be on the lookout for anything that can move depressing biomarkers in the right direction. Okay, so tip number 3, people are knowing stuff via wearables, Instagram accounts like Brian's, Andrew Huberman, Mark Hyman, Pierre Diamandis, you name it. You guys have your favorites. I'm sure all of you have somebody that you watch and follow. The Aura, the Whoop, measuring things, the MFit, the gold standard out of Finland. I can tell you more about that if you reach out to me. If your REM sleep, for every point below 20%, your REM sleep being 20% of your sleep, your odds of dementia go up. So you need to know what's your REM sleep. Keep your REM above 20 and you will not get dementia probably. Senolytics, big name. You guys, who's on the Senolytic bandwagon? Who's looking into Senolytics? There are products sold that are great for that. Therapeutic plasma exchange. I know Diane Ginsburg has talked about that. RadFest has people talking about that. Even on the brain, pruning old neurons, neuronal autophagy, which is all about blood flow to the brain. It's, a senolytic for the brain. Well, why would you want to purge the brain of any gray matter? You do. You want to get rid of the old crap that's just in there doing bad. Peptides. Peptides are a big thing. Full disclosure, I've been on a program for about a year and a month now. You guys had Steve Perry speak at conferences about his GDF-11. Peter Diamandis has founded a company that's exploring GDF-11. If you go to, this is like me going naked. This is like putting my innards on screen naked. If you go to gdf.com, and you go to, hang on, I wrote this down because I wanted you can literally go and look at my stuff. If you go to gdf.com, toggle the biomarkers, toggle the actual GDF-11 biometrics, you'll see my numbers after a year and a half. Huge improvements. That doesn't get improved by vitamins and supplements. Now, I've also been on an NAD product, the Vitality Boost from Ginfinity, so there's a little bit of noise there when we talk about confusion and complication, what works, what didn't. But between the two, I've de-aged over the past year pretty significantly in ways that are very hard to move the needle on. So it's pretty clear that one or both of them is working really well. Hint number 6, don't fall for bullshit biomarkers. Am I allowed to say bullshit? I think I just did. Anything that isn't measured, it's, placebo effect. Guys, people put these tests out. You can probably go online right now and do some goofy test that goes, here's how old you are. And you're going to go, oh my God, I'm 16. It's kind of like those Facebook things where they go, when Facebook goes, show us a picture of you and we'll tell you how old you are. And somebody who's 80 I'm not that far from 80. I'm about 8 years away from that. So I don't want to diss an 80-year-old, but And they'll put a picture in and go, oh, you look 16. And the person posts the picture that Facebook spat that out at them, which is them at 16, but it has no basis in reality. So bullshit biomarkers have no basis in reality. It needs to be measured. What can be measured? Pulse, blood pressure, stuff that gets you through the day, REM sleep, reaction time. Your markers that tell you the realities of your body, not some hocus pocus stuff. What's your naive T cell count? Do you know that? You need to know that. This is all important. What's your brain? What's happened to your brain through those falls you took when you were a kid riding horses or whatever? Go to the Amen Clinic, get a brain scan. It can predict a lot of stuff. So, a couple of notes you really want to know. You really want it. Your EGFR needs to be below 30. If you're in the bottom 30th percentile on a CNS vital signs online test, you're not going to find your way home. Your lifestyle. If you wake up in the morning and grab a vodka with your Dunkin' Donuts, or your idea of a great vacation is sit on an exotic beach and drink yourself into the surf and the sunset, not so good. Watch the goalposts. Study what's happening. As you get your test, when I say test, don't guess. Know what's happening. Know what's going in a good direction and a bad direction. Another tip I'm going to say is collaborate. You guys are doing that. You're there today. RadFest, People Unlimited, Life Extension. That's a collaboration. The Amen Clinic and Ginfinity Medicine are discussing a test for Alzheimer's, solutions for Alzheimer's, a study. These kinds of things are what move. And I know Jim talks about this at every RadFest meeting, collaboration, sharing information, getting together. Don't sit in your little corner, rat-holing your information. Get out there and talk about it. And also, I'm going to say, embrace the fluff. You know, and yogic principles have been longevity tricks for thousands of years. So that yoga stuff, that meditation stuff really isn't fluff. Embrace it. There's science behind that. And the science behind yoga and meditation grows daily. So those are my tips. Those are my cautions. Those are my observations through the filter of someone who's kind of been around to spot what's going to be the next big thing and what's really going to help people move the needle. So Mariana, I don't know where I am with my time here. Oh, you sent me a thing that said 5 minutes. I don't know if you just sent that or not. Maybe it's been there for 5 minutes. But that's pretty much what I wanted to share. And I'd love to take questions, comments, whatever you got here. And I want to applaud you guys for coming. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Back at you. And I want to applaud you guys for taking a Saturday in a week to get out here and do what you're doing, communing with each other and supporting each other in this. Because, you know, we live in a world where everybody's pretty self-centered. I think there's a lot of evidence today that that's what's going on. And any time a group like you gets together, it's a good thing. The waves spread, the wake, everybody gets to ride your wake. So enjoy being the surf leaders of science and longevity.
Thank you, Greta. Give it up for Greta, please. Woo! Well, thank you. You certainly look amazing. I don't know where should I look, Mariana? Okay. You look amazing. Your hair is beautiful. And thank you so much for your tips. Yeah, definitely. I'm thankful for the biohacking being here. Yeah. You guys have any questions for Greta today? Okay, thank you.
Hi, Greta. Great to see you.
Great to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions. I'm Dean, by the way. I want to say something. I've seen you at RadFest many times. Usually it's you moderating or on the dance floor. I don't think I've heard you.
Thank you.
And you're a wealth of information. Impressive, really. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much.
You mentioned you're taking the Ginfinity NAD powder. and then you said you're doing good, and you said it's either that or something else. And I didn't catch that. What's the something else? And then the other question
Oh,
is,
well,
the
yeah.
other question is regarding berberine and metformin. If you could you give us your opinion?
Yeah, so let me answer the first one. First of all, the Ginfinity product is immediately I noticed so many great things, including importantly for you guys who are the Ileana fitness people, my ability to get in the gym without aches and pains. The inflammation went way down within a week. Like I could go train like the old Greta. That was wonderful. I don't know who's got aches and pains out there, but I'm loaded head to toe if I don't keep the inflammation down. So what I was talking about, the other thing I'm doing, and there's a lot of other benefits, mental focus, et cetera, but there's an overlap a little bit between the Ginfinity, which is readily available to anybody, and a program I'm on with GDF11, GDF, Greta David Frank 11.com. Go there, you can learn all about it. Steve Perry spoke at RadFest. He's a data freak. He's getting amazing results. I have a 94-year-old best friend who has lung cancer, and he has been on the GDF11 program, and it has kept things at bay. Absolutely. I mean, so this is important stuff. So when I say I can't exactly tell what ends where what begins, but I would not give up either of them. Let's put it that way. Metformin versus berberine. I try to not take pharmaceuticals. In other words, I don't know about you guys, but when you go to the doctor, they go, what medications are you on? You know, they're always surprised at a certain age if you're not on blah, 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 blah. I don't want to be on those things. I don't have to be on those things. I manage my health without them. So metformin is a drug. There's a lot of data speaking to its tumorigenic, anti-tumorigenic benefits, preventing cancer. They found that people that were on metformin had less cancer than the general population. That's impressive. It does a beautiful job of blood sugar management, which is what it's designed for. It is a diabetic medicine, but there are some contraindications. And for me, one of the big ones is aerobic performance. There's a point during an aerobic performance, a workout, where metformin actually counteracts the benefits and your ability to achieve aerobic levels that you want to reach. Well, the minute I heard that, I'm like, I don't really want to do that. So you can look into metformin. You can ask your doctor. Some people there are probably, a lot of people are on it. I was on it for a long time, but I'm actually segueing into berberine because it's like an herbal holistic version, I'll say, of metformin. And I actually just watched an interview with Dr. Joseph Parita, if you know who he is, and he's a friend and an associate. And he's a big believer. He's a very accomplished guy. He's a big believer in berberine versus metformin. So I'm looking at the thought leaders and the scientists, and I'm going, who do I want to follow here? Whose advice do I want to listen to, combined with my own sort of intuition and my knowing? So I'm now on a berberine kick. I can't wait to try this new product. I mean, spermidine, berberine, and creatine. I mean, come on, you know, it's like, I got to try it. So, that's where I'm at about it. Does that answer your question?
Anyone else? Well, I do have a question. What's your take on GLP-1 peptides for weight loss / also sugar glucose control and inflammation?
That is a great question. It is the question of the day, isn't it? Is there any hotter topic than that? Well, do people get skinny on it? Hell yes, they do, for the most part. Doesn't work for everybody. They get skinny. Do they lose muscle? Hell yes, they do. Is Ozempic face a thing? Hell yes, it is. I'm hearing now about women losing their hair on it, that's something that shows up down the road. I'm not going to sign up for that. So it's a quick, listen, in a case where morbid obesity versus going on a semaglutide is the choice, you get your butt on a semaglutide or tirzepatide. You get on it. You lose that weight that could kill you. Other than that, I'm going to sit this one out until I see what the long-term effects are before I try it. Everyone I know is on it. Everyone you see on TV who's suddenly skinny and foxy and whatever, even though the face looks a little haggard, looking a little tired. So I don't know. That's where I stand on it. And listen, it's a fantastic drug. It is saving lives. Okay. But it's kind of one of those quick fixes for someone who wants to lose 10 pounds to fit into their Oscars acceptance speech gown. And they'll pay the price later because, and also the rebound on that, when you go off it, and I've seen this, when you go off it, not like it stays off. This is, once you sign on for that, if you want to maintain the results, it's pretty much a lifetime thing. I mean, there are cases where people have lost 5 or 8 pounds and then they take it once in a while to maintain, but you know, there are potential health risks. So that's where I stand on that stuff. And it certainly is the hottest topic, man. It's big. Actually, okay, now more about this inside scoop. I'm going to find out. This thing that I'm going to try, the person who's turned me onto it and the people who are involved with it are experiencing amazing weight loss pretty rapidly. My very good girlfriend, who has no reason to lie to me, lost, okay, and I'll tell you more about this later, she lost 0.6 pounds the first 24 hours. Okay, and this is all healthy stuff. So I'll keep you posted on that. I don't know. Jury's out. I'm skeptical, but I'm going to try it. I'll jump in and guinea pig it.
Wow. All right, Greta. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree with Dean, Greta. You are a treasure chest of great information, very practical information. Hello? Okay, hi. So
yeah, don't lose the mic when he's stroking me, guys. Don't lose the mic when he's stroking me. Any other time. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What?
Turn that mic up. Turn it up. So, no, really, I really appreciate you. And you know, you always give your best, whether you're dancing, you're on stage performing, or you're giving a presentation like this. And that's a huge thing. It's no little thing. So thank you. Thank you for traveling all over the way you do to find out this information too, and the inspiration you are to people.
Yeah, thank you. And it is my mission. I think you guys know this is my mission. It's been my mission for decades, but it's really, and I'm going to share a quick thing with you, Jim, and we haven't talked about this yet in full, but the whole mental health thing, and we're going to talk about that, my proposed panel about that. Just like I segue from fitness into longevity, because you can do leg lifts, but you can't if you're dead. In longevity, you can't enjoy being 120 if you're batshit crazy. And I say that with all actually love and respect to people who are suffering. The mental health problem in this country is so huge. I'm not talking brain health, I'm talking mental health. So I'm really passionate about that. I'm learning so much about what's wrong with that whole system in this country and what there is that is available and is of use. And for the people who are dealing with family members or friends who are deep in a mental health dilemma, it's mandatory that we find ways to get people health in that way. So that's my current, Yeah,
thank you. I agree with you 100%. As soon as you're ready, I'd love to have you do a presentation here and maybe even at RadFest if you're interested. Because that is really, yes, so many people are suffering from this and people need this information.
And we need your RadFest stuff like right away. So we need to hear from you.
We're talking as soon as you guys have a minute. And let me just say one more thing vis-a-vis the mental health thing, guys, because this is an overarching problem. We see what's going on in society. We're loving, caring, supportive people. We care about each other. This is the vibe. This is the spirit of immortality. This is the people unlimited ethos. But the world out there is having huge problems. And I say 90% of those can be attributed to mental health. Our economy, crime, all of it. It is mental health. We got to get a handle on this or we're going to go down.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation and your time. And I can't wait till someday you'll come here in person. So yes, come here in person so I can, personally go to new depths with you.
Yeah, I love it. And I just got to give a shout out to my girl, Melinda, back there. She's just, didn't see you earlier. Love you so much. I love all of you so much. I feel like you guys are my buddies at the end of the day. So I wish I were there with you.
Yeah, we love you, Greta. Thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.